What's up, everyone? This is BigPowner, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a really dope Assassin's Mark ring using the harvest crafting. So I've already gotten a base. You can look to buy one, or what I did is I just got waited till I had the criticals with more critical modifiers, and then I just used that till I got my level 12 Assassin's Mark. So then all you have to do is buy a base. You can get this base for like 20 to 30 chaos. So low investment, and then you can just do what I'm doing, which is crafting on all the other stuff that we want. The reason why I'm starting with the critical modifiers is because the critical augment on critical stats is the most expensive. Um, well, speed and critical are the most expensive. They're also tier 2 seeds, so they're harder to farm for. So that is the reason why I'm starting with this. You could also just use alterations to get your level 12 Assassin's Mark on there and then work from there. What I have right here is I have basically two things that I want to keep and some crap that I don't want to keep. I'm going to be replacing this, so I obviously would like to have energy shield mana. On this, I'm only going to be able to go for a crafted mana because the harvest has no way of getting it on there. If I wanted to go for like perfect, I could start off with a tier 1 mana, and then I could use augmenting critical modifiers to put on the level 12 Assassin's Mark and the critical chance. It's a lot more expensive crafts. This is what I'm doing right now. It'll wind up being a very nice item. So I have a plan for the bottom. I want to have spell damage on here also. So I need to first go ahead and I'm going to get my top set up because right now I can work with the stats that I want to get on there. Right now the stat that I can remove the number fire damage to attacks. Obviously don't want damage to attacks because I'm a lightning caster. What I do want, we'll go ahead and bring up the POEDB. So I've gone ahead and looked through and decided on my ideal stats. Um, so I want this spell damage on there. I've got the critical strike chance and the assassin's mark. It being a level 12 assassin's mark is my number one choice. The other things that I want max energy shield. I've got two open prefixes right now, which is a good place to be because I can craft one thing onto block, and there's more than one choice as far as defenses. For defenses, we have maximum energy shield, and then we also, for defenses, have evasion. So, we're going to start off by getting an energy shield roll on there. Let's go ahead and close this. So, what we're going to do after we do that is we're going to go to our bench to see if we can go ahead and block the undesired stat, which is the evasion. You could also just scroll down and check. So we take and look here. Do I have evasion that I can craft onto this? The answer is no. So the situation that I am in is I kind of have to chance it. I've got a 50-50
How
of
are your maps?
either hitting energy shield or evasion. So I can start off with augmenting on a defense stat, and then I can trade defense for defense. I believe I have a augment. Okay, there we go. So I got a lucky value one. Hopefully I will wind up hitting what it is that I want. So the only place it can go is in the top, so it's either going to be evasion or energy shield. We're hoping for a tier 1 energy shield, obviously. What did I get? I got 19 energy shield. Wow, that's bad. Talk, talk about lucky, man. Getting that tier 7 energy shield. So you can wind up being unlucky. At this point, I can just take and remove add. I have to make sure that we do remove, if I have any. We do remove defense, add defense. It doesn't look like I have the straight up craft, but I do have a remove defense and I have more augment defense. So I also have a total reroll that I could use. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a shot.
I must have time to
This is another thing that you can do because, you know, my bottom I can guaranteed work with. And I've got two things on the top here that I don't want, so I'm actually going to use a full reroll and see if I can get lucky. Because it would be nice if I wind up hitting the mana. Reforge rare item with lucky modifiers, keeping all suffixes. So obviously the bottom is their suffixes, it's the one all the way to the right. So our suffixes aren't going to be changed. And I winded up hitting mana, which isn't a very good roll, but it's mana. So I'm gonna try again, augmenting defense now. Do I have... Alright, I got another lucky one. Let's see. Augment a new defense modifier. Come on, tier 1 energy shield. And I got evasion, so that sucks. Now I have to do remove a defense and try again. And I'm basically just going to be repeating this process until I am able to get my desired stat. I might not have that many remove defenses. I know I have one over here. Okay. So it is my only defense stat, so I'm safe to go ahead and remove that defense stat. And we're gonna try again. We're gonna try a non-lucky. Oh god, it puts evasion back on there. Tier 1. Okay, so that's gonna have to get rerolled. I honestly don't have enough of those stats to do that. So what I'm going to do right now, I mean, the eventuality when I have the rerolls is I'm just gonna keep on doing that until I hit tier 2, tier 1 energy shield, depending on how good it is that I want it. So at this point, let's pretend like I got my energy shield, which we'll go ahead and just put energy shield on here. So now where I'm at is I have 17 cold resistance on the bottom. I don't want this. That is something I don't want. Remember, I want the spell damage. So we can do just a remove cold. If you have remove fire, remove lightning, you can do the resistance swaps on those and then remove it. But I know I have a remove cold. So remove cold is going to guaranteed remove that for me. So now I have a open suffix. So let's go back to the PoEDB. The cool thing about going for this stat last is it is guaranteed. So we can look here, there's nothing in the caster, I guess there is. Is this the right thing, ring? Oh, I guess I can wind up hitting cast speed. But it's only one tier. So it's either going to give me cast speed or it's going to give me increased spell damage. The nice thing is, I have no other caster modifiers, so I can actually re-roll that until I have a tier 1 also. Because we've got a lot of things that we're only going to have one of. I mean, like, you could switch this hypothetical scenario. Like, I'm going to make one of these for my Blade Vortex character, which is HP. I would just be putting HP on there instead of Energy Shield, which is the same process. So we're going to hope that I finally get lucky on one of these rolls. We're just going to go with an augment. Okay. Make sure. Yep. So this will either be casting speed or it's going to be my spell damage. And I got casting speed. So at this point, I want the spell damage, so I can do caster for caster. So I can do remove a caster if I have them. I'm honestly not sure on this, if I have these. So I have a remove caster. I'd like to just do a trade. Remove a caster from an item, add a new caster. Okay. So it's, as I said, it's the only caster. It's also speed, but speed's more expensive, so if you have it isolated with caster, why wouldn't you use the remove add caster? So we have remove add caster. This is either going to go right back to cast speed, or it's going to give me my spell damage. And it gave me spell damage. So I hit the tier 3, which I believe is the lowest one. Let's go ahead and check. So spell damage, yeah, it's the lowest one. So, you know, I'm going to wind up re-rolling this until I have a tier 1, because it's a safe roll. There's nothing that I can wind up messing up. I've got a 1 out of 4 chance of hitting a tier 1. So since this is going to be an item that I'm going to be using, I obviously want to get the highest tier roll. I think I have one more roll. And since this is an item that I'm going to wind up... okay, so we're going to remove the caster modifier once again. It is isolated. Move caster modifier. And then we're just going to try again with an augment. I know I have augment caster. Okay, augment caster with lucky values. Will one of my lucky values actually be lucky? Yeah, there we go. Tier 1, finally, man. Okay, so at this point, you know, I've got re-rolling to do, but you know, if I had those, I could just sit here and like with my caster, I could just keep on re-rolling it. The defensive stat, obviously, I have crafted on energy shield right now, which you know, when you do go for the you're gonna want to take and isolate it so that you're only able to roll your defense stat. Like I wouldn't want to do a remove defense, add defense with energy shield crafted on there, because the situation I could wind up in is it could wind up removing my crafted modifier, adding energy shield, but then I would have evasion and energy shield on there, and since evasion doesn't help me, I want to get only one of them on there. That's the reason why we do the trade, because if I wind up doing that, then I'm going to be in a position where now I have to do a remove. So I could wind up hitting the tier 1 energy shield, but then I still have tier 1 evasion on there. And since I have a perfect bottom, I'm going to be able to craft something on the top, which I can go 20% damage with an exalted orb. We can check it out. So I'll have my energy shield. A cheap thing you could go for, or cheaper, would be the fast restart energy shield. But what I'm probably going to be going for is just the percent increased damage. Once I have everything nicely rolled, once I get my tier 1 energy shield on there. Hopefully it doesn't take me too much rolling, but for now, it is a better item than what I was using before, because now I can use my 2 curses by adding allocates Whispers of Doom to my necklace, and this is a massive damage boost for the build. Anyways, I hope that this helps you guys on how to kind of break it down. You really need to pick the stats that you want, and then you need to see what the chances of getting those are. The things that are hard is when you want 2 of the same classification and there's no way to focus on that thing and do swapping back and forth. Like, you know, if there's 2 things that can roll on there, for instance, like, you know, with life, there's more than one thing that can wind up on there, but you can guarantee just keep on removing it and adding it as long as you're not wanting 2 life modifiers. If you have an item like I had where 2 of the things I wanted critical strike chance and the level 12 Assassin's Mark, that was my ideal rolls, then I want to try to get that on there first, because it's going to be harder for me to roll those things. Obviously, the level 12 Assassin's Mark is harder to get on there than any of this stuff. You can force it on, by just having your top full and just slamming it twice with augment critical, you'll wind up getting Assassin's Mark and the critical strike. That's a guaranteed way to put it on. But personally, because there's a big difference in a level 12 Assassin's Mark and a level 8, I would rather take and augment till I hit it so I guaranteed have a level 12, or do what I did and do the crit with more crit chances on it, which those are a tier 2 roll. So when you're trying to stock up on those augment critical modifiers or remove critical modifiers, you could wind up hitting those, and I would suggest having a base and trying to roll it, because those are probably not something that you're going to save on your benches, but it's definitely something you can put to good use by trying to get something like this. Since there's not very many critical modifiers on there, that critical with more chance for criticals is a pretty good chance the um, on the shaper ring to wind up actually getting you the assassin's mark. Anyways, I hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching. Peace.